Robert, being Robert, he was a person who liked to help people. He was a kind soul, and he decided he was going to leave Monsanto and go into the RUC. So Robert went off in 1972, and Robert trained in Enniskillen, and then was stationed in Glenravel Street in North Belfast. Sadly for us, on the 15th, going into the 16th of July in 1972, I remember on a Sunday morning, I was lying, it was a sunny day, the sun was coming through the crack in the curtains, and my sister came into the room, and she went over to my big brother, Terry, who was sleeping in the other bed, and I heard her whispering in his ear, Terry, and she was crying, and I was 10. As soon as I heard the words, "It's Robert, he's been shot," it was awful. And the tears flowed, and it was an emotional, absolute roller coaster and nightmare from then on. It was an incident was phoned in on a forecourt of a garage. There had been some sort of a break-in. Our alarm had gone off, and they needed the police to visit. Now, if you think about that one thing on its own, those guys were going out not to visit any harm in anybody. They were going out to help people in a nationalist area, and Robert volunteered. He was off duty. He volunteered to get into that police car, and he was in the back seat. So they went to the place where the alleged incident had happened, and there was an ambush set up there. And when Robert's patrol car came past, they opened up, and Robert was sitting in the middle of the back seat, and he was shot. He went unconscious, and he didn't regain consciousness, and that was it. He passed away. As a 10-year-old in the town, I can remember shortly after the incident happened, we had to get extra security on our house because some people took it upon themselves to come and shout obscenities. It wasn't easy for a 10-year-old to look at that and to, just get on with things. I suppose my life took a different direction at that time, but because of the way my mum was affected by Robert's murder, she wouldn't countenance me going to either of the schools like Dalriada or Coleraine Inst, which meant a bus journey. She had already lost a son, and she was so fearful that she was going to potentially lose another. Those things had a huge impact. It changed the way our dynamic was, and certainly it changed my mum's life forever. She never got over it. However, what it didn't do, it didn't encourage her to encourage us any feeling that we should go out and do the same on our neighbours in the nationalist community. It makes me very, very sad whenever I see things like the funeral that we see on TV just yesterday, and I see young people who didn't live through the Troubles, young guys who are walking side by side at a coffin of a man who's in his 60s, the old brigade now. And those young men are being indoctrinated with this warped vision. So a question I would ask is why is it always pushed into the minds of these young people to continue on where the previous heroes have left off? Heroes I use in inverted commas.